what is your favorite moment in Marvel Comics? We've obviously all been reading them. We talk about the movies in the cinematic universe all the time. Let's talk let's talk comics. Mark, I liked this order last time.
Okay.
I'm a creature of whimsy. What was your favorite Marvel comic moment?
My favorite, that's really hard, obviously, but I have to say, because I'm such a huge Alpha Flight fan, that it would be X-Men 120, which is the first appearance of Alpha Flight. And this is Alpha Flight here. Where's my... There it is. This is a 1984 T-shirt that I never took out of its package when I found it online, because I have one at home that I wore in one of these episodes that's completely faded, and that's the one I wear all the time. Yeah, I'm obsessed with Alpha Flight, so I have to go with the X-Men, and that's, you know, where Wolverine came from. Big part of the Marvel Universe that they ignore all the time.
Damn it, Fox! Give us Wolverine!
Right? Give him back. So, James?
Oh my God. So the first comic book that I picked up was Thor issue 459. And that was during Eric Masterson's run as Thor, with Thor himself being inside his mind. So he was trapped inside his mind, he was brought out by the Asgardians, and there was a big showdown between who's gonna get to hold the hammer of Mjolnir. So I read that for the first time, then I went back a few issues, I think it was 391 or something, where Eric Masterson was first introduced. So I read from then on all the way to the end, because 459 was the introduction of Eric Masterson taking up the mantle of Thunderstrike. And for me, being a child of the 90s and Thunderstrike and Thor at that time being such, you know, such campy fun, but at the same time having really good stories, I fell in love with Thunderstrike. And Thunderstrike became my first foray into the Marvel comics. And so I followed that all the way to the end. So it was just Eric Masterson, you know, kind of balancing him being a single father and trying to take care of his kid, and at the same time having Hercules living in an apartment with him, calling himself Harry Cleese, and all the way to the end of the Thunderstrike run, where he fights Blood Axe, who was his nemesis, finding out at the end that Blood Axe was his best friend, in fact, and dying to save his life, and releasing that final moment of saying, like, "Hoo boy, that's it, hoo boy," and then going to heaven. I just love that, and that's what pretty much got me started. And there's a website that I found online today. I was just researching to see what other people love Thunderstrike, and I found this guy called Bill Reed, and he made an article back in 2007. So the 365 reasons to love like Marvel comic books. It's on Comic Book Resources. If you can find it, you'll be able to read every single reason as to why I love Thunderstrike and Eric Masterson so much. Because he was just a regular human being who tried to live up to the almighty Thor, and did not realize that his potential was already there always. So that's about it.
I love it.
That's fantastic.
This is why I love these
that.
conversations. Mine's a little weird. There's so many great moments that I love throughout Marvel Comics, but there's one that sticks in my head because when I went back to read original run of Ultimate Spider-Man, still Peter Parker, before Miles Morales, and before Ultimatum and all that, there's a moment in it that still makes me laugh. It's when Peter goes up against Kingpin for the first time. And it's so funny because he's in Kingpin's place, and Kingpin comes out to get him, and Peter stops, pulls out a stack of note cards, and starts making fat jokes. And he's like, "I was ready for this, hold on." And he starts just, no, how do you like that one? And for me, one of the reasons I always loved Spider-Man when I was growing up is because I was always the nerdy kid. I don't have glasses anymore because I have contacts and my prescription's too high, because the lenses would be this big. But I looked like Peter Parker when I was a kid, like a chubby Peter Parker. So I loved him, and I always loved being very quippy, and I love just back and forth and stuff like that. And it's just that, to me, just nailed Spider-Man for me. I was like, this is why I've always loved this character, because he's so smart, and he uses his intelligence and his humor to overcome this just giant adversary that he's got. And that's what I did when I was growing up. I used intelligence and humor to overcome being the nerdy kid that everybody picked on. And so just that moment has rung so true and just so wonderful to me since I read it. That's in Ultimate Spider-Man issue number. The other two knew their issues, but it's great. So Kayla, point.
Point. Well, I don't really relate to this character because if I did, I think I need to be in a psych ward. Scarlet Witch. House of M when she's. It's just phenomenal, and specifically I get chills even thinking about it because I would always, reading comics, I would always imagine it in my head, and when she's just like, no more mutants, I can feel it like inside of me from that, like it's, I mean, everybody who reads comics, they envision themselves in the world, and especially if you have such a creative and imaginative type mind, you would just like lay in bed at night and just picture it in my mind. And when I read that for the first time, that's what I did. And like I pictured it in my mind. And there'd be a few times, not gonna lie, where I was just like, I want to be Scarlet Witch. But then I'm just like, no, it would be really crazy if I was Scarlet Witch. No, I just get chills even thinking about it. I get chills when I look at it again, and it's amazing. That's what and people ask me, why is Scarlet Witch your favorite Marvel character? I mean, just so many reasons, but one, it's because she impacts me so much. I feel what she feels. To join the conversations about your favorite TV shows, check out the Fan Show Network on theStream.tv, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe now.